Well, I'm just going to begin by asking if you could tell me a little bit about your character.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that. Okay. I play Kokin in Marco Polo, and I'm the Blue Princess in Kublai Khan's court, and I become Marco Polo's love interest.
And because obviously it is based around sort of real events, is this a sort of an era or real historical figures that you knew much about before getting involved in this project?
I knew Marco Polo before I got into this project, and I knew that era of time as well. And because I'm from Beijing, from China, and that's what we learn from our history book. And but Kokin is the character that I get to know better after I got the job. So I did research about her, and she is a historical character. But my character in this Marco Polo series is slightly different because the series is partially historical and partially fiction, so as the character. And in history, Kokin is an ancient Mongolian princess who Kublai Khan married her to the Persian king, and Marco Polo, his last assignment from Kublai Khan's court was to send her to Persia.
Oh.
Yeah.
Because I mean, we have seen you go for quite sort of fiery, action-orientated roles in the past. I was wondering if we get to see you, do some action in this movie, I suppose, in this TV series.
Well, I haven't done a lot of action yet, and not in this series either, because I hope that I could focus more on acting, more on drama, more on these stories and stuff, instead of kung fu. But I wouldn't mind doing it. I think it's fun and it looks really cool, and I think it's definitely a plus for any character. So I hope probably in the future I would be able to do something like that.
Of course, because a lot of your career so far has been in cinema. I was just wondering if you how you've enjoyed sort of adapting to TV. And I mean, these days, because people say that the TV and cinema are so similar, did it feel any different at all?
No, I feel like we were making 10 movies instead of 10 episodes of a TV series, because the scale and the camera, the camera movements, the director, the story, the characters, and the set design, it's really not that different from a movie.
Because in regards to when you make a film that's sort of set in a particular period and you have to do wear lots of costume and makeup and that sort of, does that help you get into character when you're all sort of dressed up?
It does. Well, I was just talking to the other interviewers that we have a really long morning. Instead of get up, brush your teeth, and hop in shower and get out of your room. Oh, get dressed first, obviously. And then we have a much longer morning that we go to training first. We'd ride some horses, or do some archery, and then have breakfast, and then go put on 30 layers of outfits, and then do hair, like 100 braids, and makeup, and then a hairdress. So we have like hours of a morning to get into the role, to become Kokin, and that's really cool.
When you're performing in roles like this, does it bring out that kind of inherent sort of child in all of us? When with all sort of swords and running around. And, yeah.
It does. I think any person who's working in the creative field has to have that. You have to be silly enough to believe it first, and to make believe, let the other people believe it, and to create this dream, this whole thing, to experience it and to make other people experience it. And I definitely have that in my heart. Yeah.
I was wondering as well, I mean, travelling must be a real perk to this job already, but I mean, this was shot in Italy, in Kazakhstan and Malaysia. It must have been wonderful to kind of be travelling around and sort of shooting this TV series.
Yeah, well, I was not involved in the Venice part because that's what happens before Marco Polo started his travel. But I complete that part myself. So I went to Kazakhstan and Malaysia, and we shot the majority part of everything in Malaysia. And after we wrap, I went to Venice myself. So instead of Marco Polo comes from Venice to Xanadu, I went from Xanadu to Venice, and I hang out at the San Lorenzo church where Marco Polo is buried. I hanged out there with Marco Polo's spirit for like a couple of days.
So just finally, if successful enough, if it is a second series something you'd be interested in?
Of course.
Yeah.
Yes.
Brilliant. Thank you so much for your time today.
Thank you.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Ladies and gentlemen, you're watching Hey You Guys!
Hey You Guys, huh?
Hey, you guys.
Is that from the Goonies?
It is indeed, yes.
Nice.
Hey,